Welcome to the official Iju Priyati channel. This time we will discuss political conflict in the 14th century in England. In 1313, King Edward II faced pressure from nobles who wanted to weaken his power. Let's explore how this conflict affected the political and social life of the time. At the beginning of his reign, King Edward II appeared as a strong and authoritative leader. However, his authority began to erode as dissatisfied nobles conspired to overthrow him. They formed a strong alliance and often used physical intimidation as a form of pressure on the king. These nobles would appear before the king in full armor and armed, demonstrating their dominance over the king's authority. This action not only showed their dissatisfaction with the king's rule, but also served as an effort to assert their position in the power hierarchy. Their impressive presence often succeeded in influencing the king's decisions and created instability in the government. This led to increasing political tensions in the kingdom, with the king struggling to maintain his authority while the nobles continued to weaken it. This conflict was key in shaping the political dynamics in 14th century England, leading to internal upheaval that transformed the political landscape of the country. Despite King Edward II's efforts to reform his government and address the grievances of the nobles, his attempts were often thwarted by powerful noble factions who opposed his rule. The conflict between monarchical authority and the nobles' desire for greater control intensified, leading to a significant escalation of tensions. As the king sought to consolidate his power and implement reforms, the nobles became increasingly resistant, viewing his actions as a threat to their own influence and status. This resistance manifested in various forms, including political maneuvering, defiance of royal decrees, and in some cases, open rebellion. The king, faced with mounting opposition from the nobles, found himself in a precarious position. Despite his best efforts, he struggled to maintain his authority and control over the kingdom. The nobles, emboldened by their collective strength, continued to challenge the king's rule, leading to a deepening crisis within the monarchy. This escalating conflict not only highlighted the growing divide between the king and the nobility but also underscored the broader tensions within medieval society. The struggle for power and influence between the monarchy and the nobles would ultimately have far-reaching consequences, shaping the course of political history in England for years to come. The culmination of the escalating conflict came in 1313 when the nobles successfully captured and exiled King Edward II, effectively removing him from power. This marked a significant turning point in the political landscape of England, as the once powerful king found himself isolated and estranged from his authority. The nobles, having achieved their goal of removing King Edward II from the throne, now held him captive, a prisoner of those he once led. Despite his efforts at reform and his attempts to maintain control, King Edward II was ultimately forced to surrender to the greater military power of the nobles. The king's defeat and exile not only symbolized the triumph of the nobles over the monarchy but also highlighted the complex power dynamics of medieval England. The nobles, united in their opposition to the king, had successfully asserted their authority and influence, reshaping the political landscape of the kingdom. For King Edward II, his defeat and exile were a personal tragedy, marking the end of his reign and the loss of his power. He would spend the remainder of his life in captivity, a stark reminder of the consequences of political conflict and the fragile nature of power in medieval England. In the solitude of his captivity, King Edward II had ample time to reflect on his decisions and the consequences of his actions. He came to realize that power, while once a source of strength and authority, did not always bring happiness and satisfaction. Instead, it often led to feelings of sadness and loneliness, as he found himself isolated from those he once ruled. The king's reflections led him to a profound understanding of the nature of power and its limitations. He recognized that true strength lay not in the wielding of authority, but in the ability to govern with wisdom and compassion. As he grappled with his own loss of power, he came to accept that his reign had come to an end and that he must now face the consequences of his actions. Despite his circumstances, King Edward II's reflections also brought him a sense of peace and acceptance. He realized that while his power had vanished, his legacy would endure. His reign, though tumultuous, had left an indelible mark on the history of England, shaping the course of events for generations to come. As he contemplated his past and his future, King Edward II found solace in the knowledge that his reign had not been in vain. Though he had faced defeat and exile, he had also experienced moments of triumph and achievement. In the end, he came to terms with his fate, finding a sense of closure and acceptance in the knowledge that his legacy would live on. Despite the passage of time, the prohibition on bringing weapons and armor to Parliament, originally issued by King Edward II, continues to be upheld to this day. This serves as a poignant reminder of the enduring impact of historical events and the importance of rules and legitimate authority in maintaining the balance of power in society. The political conflict in 14th century England was not simply a struggle for supremacy between the king and the nobles, but a reflection of the broader complexities of power and politics at that time. It highlights the challenges faced by leaders in navigating competing interests and maintaining stability in the face of internal strife. Moreover, the events of this period offer valuable lessons about the importance of justice and unity in a nation. The resolution of political conflicts through peaceful means and adherence to established rules are essential for the preservation of societal harmony and progress. As we reflect on the lessons of history, we are reminded of the enduring relevance of these principles in our modern world. By studying the past, we can gain insights into the challenges of the present and strive towards a future characterized by justice, unity, and respect for the rule of law. Thank you for watching our video on political conflicts in 14th century England. We hope this video has provided a better understanding of the political conflicts of the time and inspired you to explore further the political history of England. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. Thank you for your attention.